And I'd like to welcome Hans Beckhoff on stage. Good morning, Hans. Good to see you.
Morning, Roland.
Good thing is that Hans is with us the entire 3 days. I mean, you are here in the morning, you are the last one in the evening, you work all day long. But now we have a few minutes time to talk about some technology principles and also to take a look into the business year.
You see, if you want to be on the party, on the booth party, you have to be on the booth until the end. So,
that is true.
So this is the main reason.
Yeah, a couple of good reasons. Now, before we talk about the business year, I came up with a couple of statements I would like to put up.
Yeah.
The first one is speed matters.
That's really true, yeah.
We always talk about speed, not automotive speed, we talk about communication speed for automation. But this is not only for high-end application, this is also for basic application.
Yeah.
So why is speed important for all kind of applications?
Yeah, you see, one of the big advantages of Beckhoff technology is really speed. So we are quite proud that we are producing the fastest, mostly the fastest controls in the world. We can deliver PLCs with cycle times down to 100 microseconds, or even a little bit smaller cycle times can be realized. And this is a big feature of our control technology. Why? Even a very simple machine, consider a pneumatic valve and pneumatic cylinder which is going back and forth, so as the model of a simple machine, then, and if you're controlling this with a control which, let's say, has 5 millisecond cycle times or one with 0.5 millisecond cycle times, then the cycling, the number of cycles this small machine will do is bigger with the controller with the smaller cycle time. Why? The PLC or the control is working in a cyclic manner, and the events, so hitting a limit switch on the small machine, is not cyclical, and this means it's asynchronous, and so the event hitting the limit switch, which should react immediately into a change of direction of the pneumatic valve, has to wait for the controller and the cycle time on the controller until the controller has done its cycle. And so if the cycle is 5 milliseconds long, so the machine has to wait on average at least 2.5 milliseconds. Small machines are doing their own cycles fast, maybe 4 seconds or something like this. And suddenly it's adding up and you are losing 10 to 20 milliseconds on a second, which means 1 or 2% of the machine performance is lost. So now to sum up this complicated explanation, even for very simple machines, the machine will run faster, more efficient, they will be more competitive, they will have a better ecological footstep if they are controlled by a fast control. This is the way we go.
Yeah, and this is something which I think is so fascinating, that although the technology might be complicated, the result is simple.
Yeah.
It results in a faster, better performing machine. That's it.
Yeah, this is what we are working for, so that we...
I put down another statement. This is parallelization matters in terms of the CPU. Yes, I'm a proud presenter of Beckhoff IPC with multi-core technology, and we can utilize multi-cores. And this has a lot of benefits. So what are, from your point of view, the key benefits that we can use multi-core CPUs today?
Yeah, it's once again about performance. We want to have a fast running machine, and this means not only the communication with Ethercat has to be fast, but also the PLC itself has to run in short cycle times. And obviously there is a limit, which is the frequency limit of our modern CPUs, maybe 4 gigahertz or 5 gigahertz. And for sure, with your wonderful PCs you are introducing each year, we are shifting this limit each year a little bit with TwinCat Turbo Boost technology. It's even a big step forward on this show immediately. But the other way is simply to look at the PLC as a highly parallel application. Machines are by nature parallel. Left side of the machine, right side of the machine, start of the machine, end of the machine, loading, deloading, and so on. And this means you can write always a little bit of PLC program for this part of the machine, and they can run in parallel. And parallel means we can put these tasks on individual cores inside the PC, and we have many cores, 4 cores, 8 cores, 24 cores, up to 48 cores. And so you can really improve the performance of a machine very much if you if you divide your automation task into different smaller tasks, each small task is running on the core, and then you have performance times 1, 2, times 2, 4, 8, and so on. Yes.
Now, you're also a promoter of centralized control with a centralized software.
Yeah.
It means we need a piece of software which can actually utilize the speed of EtherCAD, which can use the multi-cores, and one part of the software is our motion control software.
Yeah.
Now we are presenting a new motion platform this year. We call this MC3.
Yeah.
And I think this is combining speed and multi-core.
Yeah.
Is this right, or are there other aspects?
Oh, that's really completely correct. So axes are natural on machines. So the number of axes is increasing each year. I remember some 20 years ago we were proud when we had 3 axes, or 30 years ago 3 axes on a machine. And the machine builder could not afford more axes because it was simply too expensive. But since then, all the parts of movement on a machine are becoming electrical, the all-electrical machine. And this means a lot of axes are there. And so today we have machines with 30 axes, quite normal, 100 axes, okay, but also 200 axes. And the power for the control these 200 axes has to be there. And this we can done with our new software, MC3, Motion Control 3. This utilizes also the many-core architecture, and we can now say, please axis number 1 to 60 running on core 1 and 60 to 120 on core 2 and so on. So this is a huge gain in performance, and it's also, we have developed the position algorithms in a new way, so we get a better performance over there, so more dynamic, and also shorter calculation times, so that 30% more efficient software, which also reduces the amount of CPU we are needing.
So exact. Great news also for customers to utilize this. Yeah. Now, last statement, let's go down to earth, and this is simplicity matters. I would like to point out to OCT one cable technology.
Yeah.
So why do we also care about these simple things, that one cable is enough versus 2 cables for connecting a motor, for example?
Yeah. Yeah, we one of our sentences, so teaching sentences in the company is, silicon is cheaper than copper. Okay. And so this means if we can replace a few meters of copper with some intelligent function somewhere, then we should do it. And in fact, a lot of devices, almost any device in the field, automation device, needs power and it needs communication. And normally this means 2 cables. For all our competitors, mostly this is true. But we are always going the way that we want to have only 1 cable. So the communication has to be integrated into the power cable for the device. EtherCAD P is a beautiful example. Also EtherCAD P for 24 volt devices, but also for higher voltage devices up to 600 volts. We're connecting everything in our architecture with 1 cable. Motors, drives, standard I/O devices. And this is really a big advantage for our customers. It saves them a lot of cost, a lot of work, and it's machines are not cramped with cables, so they're looking clean and good structured. And so this is clearly the way to go, the one table technology.
And luckily, all these technologies result normally in successful business years. So we have half a minute only left, actually, because we have to switch over to Felix. Now, but I think, although the press conference is this afternoon, we should have a sneak preview. So what can you tell us? How will the business year end? Because 2021 was an exceptional year. 2022 was a wonderful year. Is 2023 also a successful year for
I can say it in very few words. So it was a good year. We have once again seen some quite acceptable growth. It will be double-digit. The main growth was generated at let's say in the first 3 quarters of the year. In the last quarter, business is developing slower, and we will see this slower development also a little bit in the beginning of next year. But our customers are telling us that they have a lot of projects, and so we are quite sure that there will be a little bit of crisis, but this will go away in the second half of next year, maybe even a little bit earlier.
Okay. Well, Hans, thank you. We all have now business here. Thanks you for your time.